So why build a tiny house if you can build a big house? I think we all recognize the need to be sustainable, but I think many of you may be wondering, what difference can an individual make? Does it really matter if I refuse a straw or I recycle my coffee cup? But the truth is, you're not one person. You're one of billions of people across the earth who are all taking sustainability seriously, who are all taking responsibility for the footprint they leave on this earth, and that's why we wanted to build a tiny house. We're also super lucky to own 30 acres of the most beautiful wild woodland in Canada. And so we take very seriously our curation of this space, and we wanted to build a small house that had a very little impact on the environment. The first step of building a house is getting all the material into the woods. At first we thought we'd make some sort of a road, but that would require cutting down many trees, and it would require introducing foreign materials like gravel, which may affect the local ecosystem. So instead, we carried everything in by hand in July. If you ever needed a reason for a tiny house, this was it. I couldn't really dig foundations for the tiny house because it's situated amongst cedars and we'd have to damage the roots to do that. So instead, we decided to kind of float the tiny house on concrete pads to disperse the weight and then raise it on blocks off the damp forest floor. We used a laser and shims to level the beams. And I know what you're thinking, between the winter freeze and the spring thaw, that sucker's gonna move. And I think you'd be right. And when that happens, we use a 20-ton jack to lift the house and re-shim it. You can only do that when your house is tiny. We created the floor by laminating 3 2x8s to create 5 floor beams. Over that, we laid joists, which were made from 2x6s, with a vapor barrier on top. 12-inch barnboard flooring went on top of that. The barnboard was shiplapped for a snugger fit. The floor was insulated and boards were added on the underside to keep out the woodland critters. The deck was framed separately to reduce thermal bridging between the deck and the cabin interior. The 2 walls were made first with 4x4 ridge beam posts to support 2 24-foot ridge beams that were glued together. The rafters are spaced on 24-inch centers. 2x6s are cut to meet the slope of the roof and are screwed into the top plate of the walls. The walls follow standard protocol with 2x4s spaced at 16-inch centers. So bringing OSB sheathing into the woods was really tricky, so instead we put house wrap over the studs to act as a rain screen. Barnboard sheeting was added over the house wrap, but this kind of creates a cavity where water can collect, so strapping was added over the house wrap to create an airspace where moisture can evaporate. The roof was sheathed with 1/2-inch plywood and a water shield. Now this membrane can be nailed through without creating leaks. It's called a Grace Ice and Water Shield, and it was actually one of the most expensive components, but it's really necessary as a barrier to ice, snow and rain. So, do you think we'll finish our tiny house for under $5,000? Tune in next week to see us put the finishing touches on our tiny cabin in the woods. Thank you so much for watching. We've really loved having you. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. We'd love to have you. Thank you. Bye.